Welcome to the Gunning Truth, my Monday review for our beloved Arsenal Football Club. And it's been a weekend where most of our players has been away on international duty, and our Arsenal woman has played 2 games in the last week or so. Let me start with last week with the Arsenal women. We had a fantastic performance, but not result, at the Allianz Arena against Bayern Munich. And a very disappointing result, but once again, the performance sometimes uh, doesn't always match the result. So Arsenal were dominant in both spots. First 20 minutes or so, it was a little bit difficult because Bayern Munich, let's say maybe first 10 minutes, Bayern Munich were very, very dangerous in terms of attack, but they also didn't really take up the opportunities. And then we obviously had Arsenal profligate in front of goal. As I mentioned in my podcast, generally the women this season, because of Beth Mead and Viviane Miedema's absence, both long-term knee injuries, for those that don't know. And unfortunately, Arsenal just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. But I thought we were excellent. Should have at least had a draw. There were at least 2 penalty appeals. There was no VAR for some reason, or there was VAR. They just didn't choose to use it. And then, of course, there was the issue of goal line technology. It looked like a clear goal, a ball that went over the line for Arsenal when one of the Bayern Munich defenders got the ball off the line, but there was no replays, and it wasn't clear to see if the ball actually did go over the line, because the home team, who has a option to have the goal line technology, remember the Allianz Arena does have everything, they chose not to use that. The home team, according to the rules, has the option to use it or not. So Arsenal probably should have won that game comfortably. And now they go into this week's second leg at the Emirates Stadium. At least 20,000 tickets has been sold. I'm hoping. It was 15,000 last week. So I'm assuming it's 20,000, and it could be more, maybe close to 30 by the time the game kicks off on Wednesday evening. So it's a 9 o'clock kickoff. Arsenal at home to Bayern Munich, 1-0 behind. They showed enough for us to be able to be confident enough that they will score the goals needed. Arsenal played Tottenham Hotspur on Saturday away from home. Another North London win for the Gunners. It's been absolutely amazing season. Arsenal women and Arsenal men doing the double over their North London rivals. So a very good 5-1 win for Arsenal. I thought we were once again excellent, dominated from start to finish. It was a little bit tricky for Arsenal. It's one of those situations where Tottenham are struggling in the league, and what happened was that Arsenal took a 2-0 lead, and then they gave away a very silly penalty on one of the few counter-attacks that Tottenham had. 2-1 at halftime, and then Tottenham were relatively compact in defence, but then Arsenal had a very quick 3 goals in the second half to win 5-1. An excellent win for the Arsenal ladies. So they are there and thereabouts, because Man City ladies defeated Chelsea in a huge game at Manchester's Academy Ground, I think it was. A 2-0 win for Man City. Man United at Old Trafford beat West Ham. What was it? 5-0? 4-0? 4-0 or 5-0? So that was a big result for Man United ladies. So Man United ladies are top. Man City are tied with him, and then Chelsea has a game in hand, a couple of points off, and then Arsenal ladies are currently in fourth, but there is round about 3 points separating the top four. So it's going to be a really close race. Remember, Arsenal have to play all 3 teams above them, 2 away from home. So they have to play Man City at home. And in fact, that is Arsenal's next league game on Sunday afternoon. Man City at Meadow Park. So a huge game. That is 2 versus 4. Chelsea has got a game in hand. Can't remember against who. Arsenal also have a game in hand against Brighton. And then Man United are top. Arsenal play Man City, like I said, on Sunday. Chelsea and Man United both play lower teams, so they very likely will get points. So someone's dropping points on Sunday. Hopefully Arsenal can get the win. Because they did lose in the league to Man City away, a game that was also in hand. However, they beat Man City at Meadow Park after extra time in the League Cup semi-final. That is the same competition that Arsenal ended up winning against Chelsea. So it's very tight at the top. It's basically going to be a win here, a win there in the big games. That's Man United, Chelsea, Man City and Arsenal. And Man City has to play Man United. They've already faced Chelsea twice. They've got to play Arsenal, and then Arsenal has to play all three. They play Chelsea away, Man United away, and then they play Man City at home. So that's three of the, I think it might be 5 or 6 games that's left for this league. So Arsenal, I wrote them off after the injuries to Beth Mead and Viviane Miedema, because they have been scoring 60% of all Arsenal's goals in the last 3 years. They've always been available, but both of them have serious injuries, and that's got to do with the ladies overplaying. They are not used to all these games. Remember, they all play for the international teams. They constantly have international breaks. They've got tournaments every time when it's off season. And then they also have this high impact knee injuries that tends to happen in the women's game. Quite a few ladies of the top players have been out for a year over the last couple of years. So Arsenal looking good in the women's game. They obviously need to see if they can beat Man City at home, beat Man United away, beat Chelsea away. Then Arsenal have a chance to win the league, just due to this Chelsea loss to Man City. Chelsea obviously just have Arsenal to go. They beat Man United a couple of weeks ago. So they've already played Man United twice, and they've already played Man City twice. So technically Chelsea have one more difficult game against Arsenal. And if Chelsea win that game, then I think they will end up winning the league, because the teams that they still have to play are not likely going to get any points off them. Chelsea is also in control of their Champions League quarterfinal. So Arsenal not in control of their Champions League quarterfinal, but Chelsea are. They beat Lyon away from home 1-0. So that means that Chelsea will have Champions League semi-final football, very likely. And if Arsenal go through, we could play Chelsea in the semi-final of the Champions League. Arsenal's played Chelsea already 3 times this season. At the Emirates, drew, despite Arsenal dominating that game. So that's kind of the rivalry when it comes to women's football, Chelsea v Arsenal. And then in the FA Cup game at Chelsea, Arsenal dominated the game but still lost. I think it was 2-0. So a bit of a theme here where Arsenal can't score goals in the bigger games, the bigger women's games. And then obviously Arsenal winning the Conti Cup at Selhurst Park 3-1. So quite a comfortable win there despite conceding an early goal. So from a women's standpoint, we are in amazing positions, but we have to start scoring goals. We are dominating games, we're controlling games, but we're not scoring the goals. And that is the only problem when it comes to the ladies. And then just a look ahead to all our other teams. Obviously the men's team will be playing this coming Saturday against Leeds United. We've got the FA Cup semi-final at the Emirates Stadium, not this Tuesday, next Tuesday. So I will be reviewing that game in my live YouTube show as well. In fact, I will probably go over it in my YouTube show. And my YouTube show will be coming out on a Wednesday morning sometime. And then I will be discussing those games. I'll be discussing the weekend games, and I'll also go a deep dive into the international break, because I've scanned through the minutes played, and a lot of Man City players, I think they had between 18 and 21 players out on international duty. So they're under 21 players that's on the fringes of the squad that we might not think are important. They also played a lot of minutes. So a lot of minutes. Haaland is injured. I think he might make the Liverpool game. Foden has an appendix surgery recently, so that could be 2 to 4 weeks. So he will be out, but I think they will both be back for the Arsenal game, as well as the Champions League, quarterfinals now? Yeah, quarterfinals against, who's Man City playing? Bayern Munich, Thomas Tuchel, Thomas the Tank's team. So there's a lot of things to delve into, and I will be going into depth with that when I record my show on YouTube, The Gunning Truth, episode 1. Coming this Wednesday. Don't forget to also have a look at my Premier League show with Josh, Liverpool fan. We do a very informative Premier League show as well. That is out already. So that I'll be recording or sometimes going live on a Saturday morning, and I will post that on a Sunday. So a lot of content to come. A lot of Arsenal related news. Let's hope Arsenal finish off the job. Let's hope Arsenal beat Leeds United comfortably. Let's get a good goal difference. Even though Leeds United might attack a bit more, and possibly with all the space that we leave with our inverted fullbacks, there might be chances for Leeds United. But let's take our chances. Let's win 5-1 or 6-2 or whatever. And let's hope Liverpool can beat Man City. Up the Arsenal.